Hey, what's going on, everybody? BDF 44 coming at you with another video. All right, so I figured I'd do a therapy session this morning. It is car day, or what one would think would be car day. We thought car day was coming to last, what, 2 or 3 top times. we went through this process thinking I was going to be able to get the car a particular day, and it just, nah, it was various things that would delay the process. But today, everything should be lined up for me to pick it up according to the company. I haven't called them yet for this morning, but we scheduled it for the 6th, which happens to be today. Everything's already paid for. I do have a couple steps I have to take in California in order to get your car out of repo. You got to first go to the police station, give them their cut. I think it's like 15 bucks, 20 bucks, I don't remember, something like that. Give them their cut, and then they give you the slip that you could take to the spot where the car is. You give them the slip, and they give you your car. So that's how it went last time. I'm hopeful it'll go the same way this time. I did everything I was supposed to do in terms of getting insurance and DMV, all that straightened out. A registration still isn't paid for, but I would hope that wouldn't be a monkey wrench in me getting the car home after all of this process, because that registration is going to be $350, and I don't have it to give them right now. So, you know, I think for me, I guess I turned the camera on because my anxiety is through the roof. I haven't felt this level of anxiety since I was probably a child. And I know what it is. It's because I haven't left the house in almost 2 months, literally 2 months. And, um, it's one of those situations where, yeah, I did walk down the street to take something to a mailbox, to go out to uh, take the trash out. Of course, I've had people deliver things to me. So when I do, I see people and stuff like that. But I haven't left the house. Like, other than walking down the street for maybe like an 8 block radius twice in the last 2 months, I have not gone anywhere, you know? And to a point, even before the car was taken, I hadn't left the house very much in that process, because before the car was taken, I was very deeply in my depression and all of that. You know what I mean? And so I was already staying home for weeks at a time at that point. So this is the longest I've ever spent in my entire life away from all humanity. I don't live with nobody. I don't talk to people on a regular basis in terms of family and calling people. I don't really do that. That's not how I live. I literally live alone, and I stay alone. So as to where most of the time in my life, when I go through these stints, I'd still find myself out the house once a week to go here, go there, and come back home and then retreat. But this time, this is one of the times where I didn't have a car, didn't have anywhere to go. Everything could be brought to me because of the times we're in. So, like most who were dealing with the pandemic, I was in the house like that. But during the pandemic, I didn't go through that process. I was working through the pandemic. I was out while the freeways were clear. So this stint with isolation has really been damaging to my brain. I ain't gonna front. I did a little more damage than I intended to. But unfortunately, this is a pattern. I've been in this pattern all my life. And this is like stint number 5 of long periods of isolation. So it's just how I'm wired. And, it would be great if I had you know what I mean? People that were close to me that could snap me out of that, but I just don't. So, I just kind of am left to my own devices. And unfortunately, this time, it's a situation where not only do I have the anxiety about that, but I also have the anxiety about, okay, when the car gets here, now what? My financial situation has gotten murky because my AMC stock is going to crap right now for the time being. It's just bleeding out because everything that's going on in the financial market. So the money that I was able to like literally pick from and all that, of course, is being depleted, and even more so at this second is like not very much. So the money that it's going to take for me to get out there, to get the car and to do all the things I need to do via Uber, that's about as much as I got. I don't even know if I have enough to get home. So if they don't give me the car, it's good. It's going to be an interesting situation. So you couple the fact that my financial situation is like that, and I have to leave the house for the first time in 2 months. Yeah, my anxiety is pretty high this morning. I woke up at like 4:30 this morning and been up ever since. But I made a decision to get my car back because I knew that with my credit situation, my job situation, if I don't keep this car, it would be a very difficult opportunity for me to get another one in the short term. And being that I haven't been working, my financial situation is as it is, I probably will have to go back to work. So I figured, all in all, even though it's a financial hit, I still have to ultimately consider the fact that I need a vehicle. Now, the other thing that's causing me a great deal of stress in regards to this situation is the fact that my unemployment is not gone through just yet. Now, I don't know what's going on there. They don't communicate with you. You have to like communicate with them. So basically, what I found out yesterday was that they're allowing me to still qualify, meaning I can send in the paperwork that would make it so that they'll, you know, continue to keep me eligible. But they want to set up some type of phone interview, and they told me to look out for some paperwork in regards to that. So now, the money that I was counting on coming in, it's on hold. So while if it, you know, whatever they need to do to figure out my qualifications, they'll immediately give me all the back money that's owed right now, which will help me whenever it comes if I qualify. But for whatever reason, as of right now, they're essentially saying the qualifications are on hold. So this wasn't properly communicated to me, so I'm sending this paperwork, but I'm not receiving a check. So I'm just sitting here trying to be patient. And I had something similar happen with my, I probably mentioned this in the last therapy video, but I had something similar happen with my SNAP benefits, which is like groceries and stuff for this state. But that worked out, so I have that. So that's the blessing of the whole situation. If push comes to shove, where everything goes to crap, I can at least pay for food. So that is helped. That I definitely appreciate. Now for myself, now it's like, okay, what do I do with unemployment? Well, to be completely honest with you, I think I just gotta kind of wait for them to bring that paperwork. I got all the information I needed in regards to finding that out online. They just said, yo, this is what it is, so look for that. So I'll be looking for that. I don't know, man. I just, you know, when you find yourself in a situation where you've made a decision like I did, cost you like $3,500, you know what I mean, to get my car out, and the whole process of getting insurance, paying various bills in this process, keeping my phone on, everything, keeping my little weed habit, which has been a problem too, keeping up with that, obviously. But you know, at the end of the day, you can just, like I said, I've made it so that at any second things could get better. That's the good thing, you know, because of how I've been living, how I've been struggling, even though this is about as hard as I've ever struggled. The reality is, because of the choices I've made, AMC could pop. Who knows, right? Those on Mars could pop. Who knows? So because I put myself in a position to have both of those investments, I feel pretty confident that my financial situation will change for the better or the worse if everything goes to crap. But one way or another, I'm not down to my last dime. I'm just behaving as if I am to keep myself involved in this investment. And I have been all year long. And, you know, the conundrum is not holding the shares or keeping the investments going. The conundrum is not wanting to get back out there and do what it is that I can do professionally, which doesn't pay me enough to keep things going anyway in this state. That's what I came to the conclusion of. Unless I work more hours than offered, basically, couldn't stay afloat anyway. So once I started realizing I was churning and running in place, I just decided to turn my attention away from bills, said F credit, F everything, F car, F everything, and just poured my money into something I thought could make some real money, because if not, I know how this goes. Work till you die. Nothing to show for it. So if that's going to be my fate, my mentality was, let's give ourselves a shot. You know, I'm already 37 years old, so it's too late to be trying to go out there putting out all this energy in my mind. I got to take chances, and I took one, and so far, you know, it hasn't paid off monetarily, but I do see that AMC has taken off since I bought it. So for what it's worth, that's not a failure. But what is a failure is my mental health going by the wayside, and me not taking the opportunity earlier on this year to kind of settle some things financially for myself so that I wouldn't be in this hole. Those are the two things that I messed up on, and as a result, here we are. So yeah, man, these therapy sessions help a lot. They allow me to bring forth truth, withhold nothing, and it allows me to kind of keep it as a timepiece. You know, it's not for entertainment purposes. It's not something I expect. It's not going to be boring. So if it's boring, hey, it is what it is. I think this is more so about just allowing everybody who follows me to understand that I really, 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 really want to inspire by way of complete and utter transparency. I think people appreciate transparency. I think that's where the world is headed. I think a lot of people struggle, and we've been living in this world where we wear masks and we pretend that we're okay when we're not for so long, that I think the new personalities and people that are out there just need to give what they feel is comfortable. Now, obviously, you got to protect certain things. I forego the ability to protect certain things to give you this transparency. I let people know that I'm alone. I let people know what I got. But at the end of the day, it's because I'm weighing that versus what I desire, which is to be transparent. And I desire to be transparent because I believe that's the lane that's ultimately going to give me the type of connection with the people that ultimately want to have over time. So that's why I do this. You know, it's not just because I want to embarrass myself, but it's because I want everybody to know exactly who I am. And as I grow, I will continue to be honest about where I'm headed, and hopefully to be able to help navigate others by watching them make whatever decisions or mistakes I make in the process. So that's what I'm on. The subject most of the time will be basketball, but a lot of times it'll be stuff like this where I'll just tell you exactly what's going on. So I appreciate you bearing with me. This is like my 10th or 9th therapy session video. Some of them were more manic than others. Like I said, today I'm feeling anxious, and that's that. But at the end of the day, I'm very blessed. My health is solid. You know, I have a place to stay, and like I said, some things can get better very quickly if certain things fall in place. So now we figure out what's up with the car. Do I go get the car today, or is it a process where I have to wait a little while? Is it something that I'm gonna be able to take care of with my finances as is, or am I gonna need a little more money? And then little things, you know, little things that you have to think about because you're alone. Like, is the clicker gonna be in the car? You know what I mean? I live in a place where you need the gate, so the property that I left in the car, it wasn't a whole lot that I cared about, but that clicker, I'm gonna need that. So little stuff like that leave you anxious. But all in all, I'm just very fortunate to have a car to come back to me. And unfortunately, I don't really have a plan to pay for it going forward. But one thing's for sure, you know, the option to stay in this house and relax and keep doing what I was doing, that isn't there anymore. I got to make money. So it is what it is. You know, I would hope this is rock bottom. You know what I mean? Like, I've been through worse in my life, but this is the first time where I can honestly say I'm completely overwhelmed, and I don't really have a whole lot of help. No help at all. Which in some weird way is something I think I may be proud of if I'm able to pull myself out of this. And like I said, I do have a family that loves me, but you know, it's one of those situations where you know, I'm just going forward. You know, that's what it really comes down to. I don't feel comfortable asking everybody I know for anything, because some of the people in my life don't know me that well, so they ain't gonna know where I'm coming from. They're not gonna know what I'm telling is true. You understand what I'm saying? It's like, as you can see, as I've said, I'm alone. So when I go to somebody, I'm gonna have to explain to them and catch them up on all of this. And some of those are not conversations I really want to have. You know what I mean? If I can be completely honest with you, I'll have these conversations with you, but some of my close friends and family, I don't want to have those conversations with them. I'd much rather just try to figure this out on my own and overcome. And I don't think a lot of people know how to help me. You know what I mean? And some of my family members and friends growing up, they didn't know. So I'd assume it would be the same now. And, you know, I don't know how to help me, to be honest with you. I think that's what this is all about. If I had everything under control, I'd be in a position to do more for others and do more for myself. So I'm not hopeless. You know, I believe myself to be extremely talented. You know what I mean? I just suffer from a great deal of anxiety and various stuff that hasn't been even diagnosed, I'm sure. So it's why my behavior as it is. But unfortunately and fortunately enough, and simultaneously, I am self-aware. So it allows me to sit here and kind of not only tell people what I'm going through, but also see it. And it's like, it's a gift and a curse, you know. But I think at the end of the day, if I want to sum this entire video, I just want to say that I made a decision to get my car back. I'm not certain it was the right decision. It cost me more money than I could afford. But, you know, that stemmed from a decision to make this AMC thing happen the way that I did while not wanting to work. And so I desperately want to get my head together so that I can choose to get back out there and want to work. Do you understand what I'm saying when I say that? It's like The best way I know how to describe it is the same way I used to go through conversations with my mother in regards to why I didn't want to go to school. For whatever reason, this brain here does not allow me to overcome the anxiety concerns for what's necessary. I will protect myself from whatever it is that I'm anxious about, or will try to avoid it or put it off to the very last minute until the consequences become too much to where that stress overrides the anxiety itself. And then I'll allow myself to act against that anxiety. It's like, okay, the rubber met the road. Now the fears are at a space where I can't maneuver, so I gotta react, and I always do. But you know what I mean? I know some people turn to liquor in those situations, some people quit in those situations. My brain turns to fight or flight, and for some reason it just snaps out of the psychosis or whatever the hell you would call it. So most of my close friends and family think I'm playing around when I say I suffer from anxiety, because when it comes down to it, I just go. You know, and I'm not able to effectively convey that in a way that makes it palatable for others. So it just looks like I'm procrastinating, aware of it, and being a slacker. But that's actually not what it feels like to me. What it feels like to me is I'm going upwards. How do you, like, as if you're going against the grain? That's what it feels like to me. Is my mind and my intentions are at odds, and it's stemmed by a sense of great angst and phobia, I guess you can say. So it's really unique, man, to live in this space. But this is the beautiful thing about living inside of my head. When I'm on this camera, that anxiety turns into a very, very focused ability to convey thoughts. When I'm listening to music, that anxiety turns into like a different artistic energy that allows me to blend sounds and come up with all different types of artistic algorithms that allow me to put playlists in different ways and or arrange them in different ways. If you were to ever listen to my playlist, you may be able to understand what it is that I'm saying here. The same thing that makes me anxious makes me creative. The same thing that makes me stay in this house cooped up the way that I am, it's the same thing that allows me to turn on this camera and talk about basketball for 30 minutes. It's no one without the other. It's literally the same energy. It just reacts to certain things differently. And so I look at it like, when the Lord gives you a lot in one area, you probably have a little in another area. So, you know, that's just how I look at it. I think a lot of artists suffer from different mental health issues or various quirky personality traits and stuff like that. And if they go through trauma, it can turn into a very, very bad thing. You know, and I think there's more of a conversation to be said about that. Different types of brains going through different types of traumas. You know what I mean? A brain like mine was always imaginative, always putting things together, intellectually, you know, piecing things together, that kind of thing. So when I face certain traumas, the way I perceive those traumas were very, very intricate, very, very imaginative, and ultimately, when they come at such an early age, it doesn't become a situation where you're consciously being this way. It's almost as if, it's not even almost as if, it's exactly as if you're working against those ways within your own self. You know what I mean? I don't know if anybody else can relate to it, but that's exactly the way to describe the existence. So, yeah, man, it's all I know. You know, that's the thing. I don't think getting rich is going to save this. I don't think finding a lovely wife and some kids in my life is going to help that. I think this is something that I have to bull through until it's over, because it's always been this way. And I don't want any pill or anything. I'm not a person that wants to pop pills or nothing. Give me weed, that's it. None of that other stuff. So, you know, this is just my lifestyle. That's how it goes. And like I said, I appreciate everybody who watches these therapy videos, because at the end of the day, all I want to do is help myself in these situations. So if I can help you, that's a bonus, honestly. But yeah, man, hope all is well for all you all. You know, and I'm gonna try to figure myself out, get out of this house, take care of my car, probably make another video when I get the car back. If I get the car back, right? But more than anything, I just want to say that my confidence is in God. I pray a lot, and that's what's going to keep me going. That's what's kept me going. And yeah, that's what I got to say. Thank you all for watching. BDF 44. Peace.